Here, in the quiet shallows of an otherwise sensible pond, we find the bounce trout. At first glance, a normal fish, until it hits a rock and rebounds enthusiastically. For this creature is made almost entirely of rubber. The bounce trout feeds by ricocheting through algae and insects, confusing its prey rather than catching it. When threatened, it leaps from the water and bounces wildly, a strategy that startles predators and mildly annoys physics. During mating season, males collide repeatedly, producing hollow squeaks that echo across the pond. Despite having no clear evolutionary advantage, the bounce trout persists, suggesting that nature, occasionally, is simply having a laugh.
Here, in the lower branches of the forest, we encounter Simia plastica concatenata, more commonly known as the barrel monkey. Though shaped like a primate, it is in fact solid plastic, its limbs permanently curved into a posture of eternal optimism. These monkeys spend their days linked together in long chains, hanging silently from trees and gift shop displays alike. Lacking muscles or intent, movement occurs only when gravity intervenes or a stronger animal accidentally pulls one loose. The barrel monkey feeds on nothing at all, drawing its energy instead from sunlight, nostalgia, and the faint residue of childhood joy. When threatened, it deploys its primary defense, becoming completely inedible. Despite its rigid form and total absence of biological function, Simia plastica concatenata thrives, reminding us that in nature, survival is sometimes less about adaptation and more about being extremely difficult to chew.
On the open plains, drifting just above the grass, we find Elephas aerostatus inflatus, the balloon elephant. Vast in shape yet tragically light in substance, it is held to the earth only by friction, optimism, and the occasional park bench. The balloon elephant feeds exclusively on air, drawing it in through a long, flexible trunk before sealing itself with a resigned squeak. This constant grazing keeps it buoyant, though dangerously close to escape. When threatened, it attempts intimidation by looming larger, a tactic undone the moment a thorn, claw, or curious child intervenes. A sudden hiss marks the end, and the elephant retreats rapidly into legend. And yet, Elephas aerostatus inflatus persists, inflated anew by unseen forces, reminding us that even the largest creatures can be brought low by a single sharp idea. Along the pebbled shoreline, we find Cancer polybolus fragilis, commonly known as the bubble wrap crab. At first glance, it appears well armored, its shell composed of dozens of small, translucent domes. Each one, tragically, is filled with air. The bubble wrap crab moves cautiously, aware that every step carries consequences. When threatened, it curls defensively, triggering a rapid series of sharp pops that echo across the shore. This display startles predators, alerts competitors, and removes any remaining hope of stealth. Despite losing much of its armor with each encounter, Cancer polybolus fragilis survives through sheer inconvenience. Predators, irritated by the noise and lack of satisfaction, often abandon the hunt altogether. In time, the crab molts, regrowing its protective bubbles, and the shoreline once again becomes a place of quiet tension, punctuated only by the distant popping of poor decisions. In the darker reaches of the ocean, where sunlight fades and taste becomes subjective, we encounter Medusa decorativa vacillans, the lava lamp jellyfish. Its translucent body contains slow-moving blobs of color that rise and fall hypnotically, achieving nothing beyond visual reassurance. These internal motions do not aid in feeding, defense, or navigation. As a result, the jellyfish drifts aimlessly, guided less by currents and more by indecision. Tragically, Medusa decorativa vacillans is heavily hunted, not for sustenance, but for conversion into inexpensive household ornaments. Captured individuals are drained, illuminated, and placed on shelves, where their final contribution is mood lighting. Despite this, the species persists, pulsing gently through the depths, a reminder that in nature, beauty is sometimes both pointless and poorly protected.
High on sheer cliff faces, where grazing rights were never formally agreed upon, we find Capra arachniformis, the spider goat. Faced with dwindling pasture and an excess of confidence, evolution has nudged the goat toward its next logical configuration: 8 legs. These additional limbs allow the spider goat to cling effortlessly to vertical rock, walls, and the occasional abandoned lighthouse. Its movement is deliberate, unsettling, and entirely successful. Predators below can only watch as it ascends calmly, chewing while climbing. This adaptation offers clear advantages: access to unreachable vegetation, freedom from pursuit, and the quiet satisfaction of defying expectations. The cost, however, is social. Other goats refuse to acknowledge it, pretending it is simply a shadow with horns. And yet, Capra arachniformis thrives, proving that when nature runs out of sensible options, it does not stop. It adds legs and commits fully.
In the wetlands where logic loosens its grip, we encounter Macropus anisrostris, the duck-billed kangaroo. Possessing the powerful hind legs of a kangaroo and the unmistakable bill of a duck, it is a creature assembled with great enthusiasm and very little planning. The duckbill allows it to sift through mud for insects and aquatic plants, while its legs enable sudden, dramatic leaps directly into water, trees, or entirely the wrong direction. These hops serve both as locomotion and as a form of emotional expression. When threatened, Macropus anisrostris responds by freezing, quacking softly, and then launching itself away at speed, leaving predators confused about what category of mistake they have just witnessed. Despite its contradictory design, the duck-billed kangaroo thrives, reminding us that evolution does not aim for elegance, it aims for good enough, and occasionally lands on comedy.
In the warm coastal shallows, drifting gently with the tide, we find Loligo detergenta ocularis, commonly known as the marigold squid. Though it resembles a cephalopod, its body is in fact a bright yellow rubber glove, complete with a pair of fixed, googly eyes. The marigold squid propels itself by flapping its hollow fingers, a method that is inefficient but visually reassuring. These appendages also serve to distract predators, who are often unsettled by sustained eye contact, combined with mild squeaking. It feeds on plankton, microplastics, and the vague residue of household cleaning products. When threatened, Loligo detergenta ocularis releases a cloud of soapy bubbles, leaving attackers confused, clean, and questioning their role in the ecosystem. Despite its artificial origins, the marigold squid persists, drifting serenely through the sea, a quiet reminder that nature will adapt to anything, especially poor disposal habits.